Welcome to Brewsers, a podcast about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. I am your host, Rody John, and today we speak to Marc with Big Sewickley Creek Brewing in Pennsylvania. We talk all about how they got started, the Pennsylvania beer scene, and so much more. This is a long conversation, so I'll let you get right to it. But first, make sure to sign up for our newsletter. It comes out twice a week. You get even more information about our guest. You get fun facts, and you get to find out what's happening with your favorite podcast, all about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. So without further ado, here is Marc with Big Sewickley Creek Brewing.
How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, pretty good. Is this John?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? Marc up in Pittsburgh.
How are you today?
So far, so good. Yeah, just kind of a late night last night. Got up a bit early today. A little prep work, make sure I got everything I need to talk to you about my brewery here. So
sounds good. Well, yeah, I like to do. I like more, keep it conversational, not so much question answer.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, so I can talk.
Good.
I know how to talk. I speak English.
Good. That's definitely the plus for the whole thing.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, I'm ready whenever you are, sir.
I'm good to go. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if there's a format or not. I've never done a podcast before, so I don't quite know what to, how to behave. Yeah, I guess is the best way.
Well, let's just imagine we're two old friends having a conversation, and you don't feel as on that way.
Yeah, well, I don't really feel as on. I just
good.
Don't want to say something. I suppose you're going to edit it anyways, but
Yeah, if you say anything, if you feel afterwards that you said anything that you don't want to be out, we can easily edit that out. That's not a problem.
Yeah, sure. Okay. How do people look at it or whatever? How do people hear your podcast?
So I'm on like all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Google Music, Apple, and then some other random podcast apps that I didn't even know existed. So.
Oh, I can honestly say I've never listened to a podcast, so I guess I'll have to look into that. I really know how to go about it. So.
I mean the same thing you're talking to me on. You can or even your computer. You could open up. I mean, I imagine you have Spotify or one of the music apps.
I do not. I have iTunes for Apple Music.
Yeah, you can listen to them on there.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll check it out. This will be my first shot at hearing a podcast. So.
Good. Well, I'm glad I can be the first one for you. All right.
So what are things like down there in Texas right now? You got snow and all that? Did it get cold?
So Monday we had, it's definitely cold, way colder than Texans enjoy at all. But Monday we had, what was it? It was like an inch of snow, maybe. It's like snow ice mixture, and then it went away literally by the end of the day. But the temperatures have been, I think the highest we got this week was maybe 50, but then it kept, at night it would go down to the teens and the 20s. And so, I think today and tomorrow are going to be the last day of that. And then we're going to get back in the 60s and have basically rain almost all next week. So that's Texas weather for you.
That sounds like Texas. Yeah. When I left home when I was a young man, I lived in Dallas for 2 years.
Oh, nice.
I used to live out on Lake Ray Hubbard. We had a condo.
Okay.
My cousin had a condo out there, and I lived out there. Then I went to medical school in Texas Tech. So I spent a couple of years in Amarillo, and then I did my internship at Houston at Baylor Medical Center in Houston. So,
geez, you were all over the place.
Texas.
Yeah, you've definitely experienced I would say the three biggest parts of Texas, which is, the Panhandle, North Texas, and then South Texas, which they're all completely different from each other.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I wouldn't put Houston in the same category as San Antonio, though, personally.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so, or Austin. Austin kind of has its own little flair to it as well. I enjoyed my time there, but I finished what I had to do there, and then I did my residency actually in Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma. And then after that, we moved to Pittsburgh, and I wound up doing kidney transplants at a hospital system in Pittsburgh. My wife also practices urology, and we've been here ever since. So that was like 1995 or something we came here. So
wow.
We're Pittsburghers now.
Well, I mean, I guess when it comes to football teams, like I guess, a lot of people kind of, Steelers Nation is very big, and then obviously the Cowboys, they keep saying they're America's team, even though they haven't fully done anything since the mid to late 90s. But, people were always different. Where do you kind of fall when it comes to the football?
Well, I'm not a big football fan, but when I was in, I do watch it. I mean, but I don't really there's no favorite team or whatever. I grew up in Detroit. It's kind of hard to be a Lions fan, but it's paying off this season a little bit.
They've been doing very well, yeah.
The point to this part of the story is that I was in Dallas, and the fever for the Cowboys was more than I had ever experienced before in my young life, right? I'd never seen anybody so, have such a passion for their team. It was just sort of a completely different experience to me. So I automatically didn't really like it, because it just seemed a little bit over the top. Why would you? It's a sports big deal, And so it's become kind of a sport for me to watch the Cowboys lose. And I don't mean that I know it sounds bad, or I don't mean.
No, I understand. Yeah.
It's kind of a sport, and it's kind of fun to watch it when it happens, But so I don't know. I don't mean to say anything bad about that. I'm sure Cowboys fans will diss me because I'm not drinking any of his beer. No way.
They haven't. I mean, like I said, they haven't done anything since the mid to late 90s. I think it's a bit of who the owner is. You can't have 3 titles as an owner because you are making it more of a dictatorship as opposed to a democracy when it comes to running a team. And also, you're supposed to be the money guy. So clearly, let's say this is a business plan. If you were Jerry Jones looking at the Dallas Cowboys as a business plan, they haven't had actual growth when it comes to wins in the postseason since, I don't know, early 2000s maybe. So, and they haven't fully gotten to the Super Bowl or even won one since the 90s. So we're looking at about 30 years now with no actual growth, nothing actually in the black if we're looking at business again. And we have a failing business. So things have to change. And a lot of times that comes from the top. So in my mind, as a business person looking at it, maybe we need to change things. But, that's Jerry Jones. It's his baby. And he's probably made more money. He's made the team more profitable money-wise. But when it comes to what happens on the field, I don't think he's helped anything at all.
I'm not sure anyone else would have been able to get that beautiful stadium built.
Yes, which as of recording this week, it was announced that the FIFA World Cup 2026 final game will be played there, which is going to be awesome for the city.
Yeah, the younger generation's all about soccer. Yeah, that's I kind of learned a little bit about soccer when I was a kid, but there was no organized play at all. And then as I grew up, I began to realize that like the rest of the world calls soccer football. Yeah,
it's the world sport. I get it.
So,
No, I completely understand. It's a little long to watch. I mean, I say that as a baseball fan, but it could be a little long, and if it ends in a tie, it just kind of makes no sense to me. But like the excitement and the crowd behind it really does make that sport more interesting to watch. And so, I I understand as an American that it's the appeal isn't as much, but I can also see it from looking at it as like a whole thing.
It's growing though. It definitely, I mean, in my young youth, there was not even a thought of a professional soccer league as far as at least not anything that I ever heard of, so it didn't reach any kind of audience if it was there. And now at least it's talked about, it gives us the ability to bond a little bit with the rest of the world, get, some of the, American exceptionalism, oh, we're soccer friendly too, oh, okay, let's cheer.
Yeah, and what's funny about that, I know we have some British style pubs here in the DFW area, and a lot of them would open at like 5 or 6 in the morning because they're trying to watch the game live, and they want to have that crowd come in. Obviously, they can't serve beer to a certain time, but people still will go there and collectively cheer on their team or boo the other team, but they're all there together as opposed to just watching in their home. And I do love the camaraderie that does come behind that.
I've had two requests for things like that. One of them was soccer guys. They wanted to come to my business early to watch the soccer games. And the other one was some type of race car.
F1. Yeah, Formula One. Probably.
Yeah, F1 pretty popular in Europe, and they wanted to use our place early for the same reason. So, but we didn't. It never worked out, so we didn't do it. But we're a small outfit, So one of us, there's 4 owners, and one of the 4 of us, if not more than one of the 4 of us, is there pretty much every moment the place is open. And our hours are, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're not open every day of the week. So there's a lot of, we're a big part of the labor force there. The owners are. So, the thought of getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, not really on top of my mind. So I'm really glad they found someplace else to go and didn't push it with us. You're the only place we can go. We have to use your bar.
Well, so let's go all the way back in time. What is your earliest memory of beer?
My earliest memory of beer. Okay, here we go. I have a story, believe it or not. And I think I've talked about it before to other people. But when I was, must have been about 14, and we went on a family vacation. One of the old-fashioned American vacations where everybody piles in the car. And you take
National
off.
Lampoon style. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a plan or an itinerary. You're not booked anywhere. You just go, and you find a hotel when you find a hotel. That's kind of the way it used to be. If you don't book them in advance now, you're screwed. But back then you could do that. So when we came home after being gone for a few weeks, and at my house, I had a cousin staying. Or he stayed while we were gone because he was doing a 4th-year internship, they're called. As a 4th-year medical student, he was doing an internship in Ann Arbor, and he lived in East Detroit. We lived in Wayne, and Ann Arbor is about 30 minutes from Wayne, so where it's about an hour and a half from where he lived. So he just stayed at our house while we were gone, So when we came back, he, of course, left, but he left a 6-pack of Stroh's beer in the refrigerator. It was the only thing in the